All right. Well, I've begun recording.
Okay.
Spencer, if
I
you're
am
hearing
now.
this,
I am now recording as well.
I am
Spencer,
also
if you're
now
hearing
recording.
this is way too early in the recording, and I'm gonna need you to delete those photos of my penis off of your hard drive.
What the fuck?
That will be the cold open.
All Fortnite gamers.
Attention all Fortnite gamers. John Wick needs your help.
Orange Justice isn't getting his.
Hold on, I gotta.
Ha! Yeet!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the ixcast. That's just a working title, I guess. I'm joined here by Mez and Church. Let's do some introductions. Mez, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Mez, and I swallowed a retainer when I was younger. However, I have not taken a penis to the mouth.
And okay. Church, go ahead, introduce yourself.
I'm Churchy Boy. I'm not as exciting, I guess. I'm a
It's hard to
professional
top
musician and educator, and I also like Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I'd say that's something that we all have in common, is we all like Smash Brothers.
I like smashing brothers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'd say I like I'm Spencer. I like playing Smash.
And
like-
women.
I like watching anime, and I speedrun Resident Evil remake sometimes. I've been wanting to start a podcast for a couple of years now, since I started like having a lot of different Discord calls and in college, and now we're finally gonna do it. So this first episode's probably gonna be slow and awkward and hard to think of things to say, but
Like
hopefully
the
we can
first
get the
time
ball
having sex.
exactly, and hopefully we can get the ball rolling. So does anyone have any topics that they'd like to start with?
How
I
was
know.
it-
Mez. You
That's-
just you introduced yourself with the fact that you swallowed a retainer once. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I've never sucked dick.
That's
so
not what I was said. That's not what I said.
No, okay, so there's like a whole story with this. I'll give a little bit of the Cliff Notes version, but basically, I had retainers going into high school, and one day I was just out riding around with one of my friends, and the bottom one ended up breaking, and I call my mom, and I'm like, "Hey, Mom, I kind of like broke my retainer. What do I do?" And she's like, "Oh, just keep it in. We'll call the orthodontist. We'll get you a new one." And so I'm sitting on my bed that night. My brother's playing Mario Baseball. This is important, by the way, because he turns to me and he's like, "Hey, Tyler, if I get a home run on this next pitch, I get to give you a purple nurple." And I'm like, "Okay, there's no way you'll get a home run." And of course, like the little asshole he is, he gets a home run. And so he starts coming at me, and I'm like, no, you don't fucking do this to me. Not like this, not like this. And somehow the retainer came up off of my teeth and moved to the back of my throat, and I remember distinctly thinking, I don't want to choke on this. And so I just swallow, and lo and behold, I swallowed my retainer.
What happened directly afterwards?
It's called immediate shock and realization that you swallowed a retainer.
What the fuck do you do?
You go
Immediate
downstairs and you look at your mom and you're like, "Hey, Mom, I don't want you to freak out, but I kind of just swallowed my retainer." And then she, like the responsible mother she is, freaks out, and then you all go to the hospital.
Yeah, did you have to get like your stomach pumped?
Yeah, that's what happened. But like
Jesus
all
Christ.
throughout the night, like different nurses and doctors were like, "Hey, what's up? I've never heard of this happening before." And I was like, "Oh no, the medical professionals that are supposed to know what to do in these situations don't know what to do."
Yeah, I
I'm
didn't
going
go to
to
college for
die
this.
here. No, and then they wheel in the guy, not wheel in, but he like walks in, the gastrologist, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? I heard you swallowed a retainer. I was having dinner with my family, and they call me, and they're like, hey, some kid swallowed his retainer. What a fucking idiot." So I came in, on my day off, and I'm like, "I'm so sorry, man." And right as they're putting me out, they're like, "Oh yeah, I've never heard of this happening before." And so I fully expected to not wake up from that anesthesia.
Could you imagine like your tombstone and like
It just says, "We've never heard of this happening before."
and it's shaped like a bottom retainer?
It'd be such a unique. It's like a horseshoe shape. You could totally do that.
Yeah, of course.
Does your father know what orange justice is?
He doesn't. He doesn't. So it's even weirder for him.
Neither do my parents, and a lot of my friends don't. Just because they're not, gamers. But
Like epic gamer,
But,
dude.
um,
We're all gamers here.
as I mentioned earlier, I'm an educator, and I just got through my first week of teaching. And
Quite a milestone.
apparently the students call Friday Flossing Friday.
No, don't, dude. It's Fursuit Friday.
At least 3 students per class. Flossing.
Did you say it's Fursuit Friday?
Hashtag Fursuit Friday.
Anyways, Trish.
Delete this.
Go on.
But yeah, at least 3 students per class were flossing, and I don't think I've ever had to yell or even have heard other teachers yell, "Please stop flossing. We need to do work." And they're just sitting there flossing. And when they were stopped flossing, they were starting to do orange justice. It's very strange seeing someone do orange justice to spirituals.
Like
Will be a witness for my Lord.
See,
Oh
to
my
me, like,
God.
as, like, a casual observer, I would say that, like, Orange Justice is, like, actually a cool dance move.
It is.
Like, I think it looks cool. It's nice and, like, freestyle-y. But then you have, like, flossing, you look like an idiot, in my opinion.
Dude, flossing is such like a low skill move.
Yeah,
Have you
I
ever
guess.
seen the Live and Large dance from Fortnite?
Live and learn.
No, what's that one?
It's hard to explain, but
Let me
there was
search it up here.
there was a small, I think he was a 5th grader.
Hey, editor that we totally have. Put a gif of it on screen.
But it's a
Right
podcast.
now.
Yeah, I'm going to. Oh my god. Oh, this one.
Okay, well now
I know that one.
It's so
All right,
good.
what is it? What is it called?
Live in large.
It's so good. There was a great, like a 5th grade kid. He's like 5 foot tall. Probably he was very overweight for a 5th grader, and he
I found
says
a 1 hour
something,
version.
looks me dead in the eyes, and just perfect frame for frame hits me with a Live and Large, and I could not stop laughing. Just because, like, I play
what am I
I'm the
watching
Fortniter
here?
of our group. I play Fortnite. I've seen the dance. It's one of my favorite dances in the game, and I just
Oh my
could
god,
not
this is a
stop
great
laughing.
thing. This kid frame perfect does this?
Yes.
My god.
It's
was
like
so
frame
funny.
for frame the same.
But yeah,
exact,
middle school, you see a lot of Fortnite dances, and you get to know who teams with each other in Fortnite and squads and stuff.
Okay, well, to be
so-
fair, in middle school, I was doing the fucking caramel dancing dance.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah.
The what?
I mean,
The caramel dancing.
oh, you
Editor,
don't know
put a gif of caramel dancing on screen.
put
I
a
have to
big
look
old
this up
caramel
now.
dancing.
Put a big old caramel dancing on there.
Fucking.
Did you know that
I-
that song's Swedish and not
yes.
Japanese?
Yeah, caramel is from Sweden.
Caramel. The
Yeah.
Caramel Girls.
Yeah,
So,
Didn't
yeah,
they like just put out something for that?
I think they did like an HD remaster. Or
I think they did an HD. Yeah. Speaking of HD remasters,
Dude, final remix. Dude,
No,
caramel dancing.
that's
final
not what
remix.
that's not what I said.
2.8 final mix.
Do not interrupt me.
Oh, is this some weeb thing?
Yeah. Speaking of
Yeah.
HD remaster, Resident Evil 2 HD remaster comes out in 2 weeks or so.
Good for it. I'm glad it came out as gay.
Yeah, dude, it's finally coming out of the closet.
Man, that's awesome.
So it's Claire sexual. Anyways, I will finally be able to play that game in stunning HD. Then again, like I don't even have that much history with Resident Evil 2. I just like played it maybe a year ago or 2. And that game is very good. I've been looking at
played-
like videos of the demo, and holy shit, it's so interesting to see how they've adapted the the 2D backgrounds into these 3D environments. It's so interesting, so cool.
Oh man. But yeah, I need to get into more games. I've spent thousands of hours in
Have you
certain
heard of
games,
a
but
little indie game called Tetris? It's very popular
I
right
have.
now.
And I always want to play it, but I'm
The
also a broke
graphics are very
college
retro
student, so I can't
inspired.
afford it.
You can't afford Tetris?
Or on the
Dude,
Switch, at
It's
least.
a shame that it's a shame when you can't afford Tetris. That's why the communist revolution happened.
I can
Everyone
play
wanted
Tetris in my
Tetris.
mind.
You can play Tetris. Every piece is a line piece.
Every piece is a
I
straight
win.
line, dude.
Yeah, every piece is a line piece.
It's
I
I
win.
always win.
Dude, that was me when I was working as a grocery bagger. I was like, whoa, dude, this is just like Tetris.
God. God damn it.
And everyone was like, wow, you can really pack those groceries in there. And I was like, I'm on line 470. You can't even get on my level.
God damn it, Mez.
I'll T-spin your eggs.
What is it? Time is it 2:42? Do you think it's time for a beer?
No.
No?
Ah, fuck.
Definitely not time for a beer.
I guess I'm the alcoholic of the group.
That's it. That's what you are.
We already knew that.
I mean, yeah.
What else we got? What other topics can
We
we
could
think of?
talk about girls.
God damn it.
You had some topics the other night.
Yeah, I don't know anymore.
I hate women. But also don't like to fuck men.
Well,
Oops.
that's an issue because I'm the
Yeah.
exact opposite. I
Oops.
love women, and I also like to fuck men.
Oh no.
Wink, wink, audience members, buy my premium Snapchat for $7,000.
Taxes.
But then you're gonna get audited by the IRS.
I have the receipts. It's right
No,
here.
The
It's
problem
just a
is
crayon.
not getting taxed on it is the problem.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
the thing is, as long as I'm not like, I don't know, it's always like the horny straight boys that get it, you know?
What?
I
Huh?
don't know.
What do you mean?
It's like the lonely straight guys.
Oh,
are
that
like,
get girls stuff?
No.
What
Yeah,
the
that are like,
fuck?
oh, I bought your premium Snapchat. Now I'm gonna report you to the IRS. Nobody
Oh,
cares
yeah,
about
it's
some random
like-
twink on the internet.
No, they don't. They don't give a shit. No.
Yeah, no. I'd
But
be lucky
still,
if I can pull in a tenth of the numbers of those thoughts.
the difference is that the reason why that stuff was getting reported to the IRS is because they were going, okay, well, because you paid $7 for a premium Snapchat, you now are receiving something. Therefore,
Yeah.
it's a business. and
It's not
tax
like a
deductible.
donation. It's
not
yeah.
a donation anymore because you're giving them something. So that's what you just have to do. Just give them nothing in return. Just say, hey, give me money, and I won't do anything. And then they will.
Dude,
Incredible.
Venmo me $5 and see what happens. I hate when girls have that on their Tinder because it's just like, yeah, the surprise is I'm gonna lose money.
Oh, you know something that I just realized that I don't like?
What did you realize?
I just realized that I really hate when people on Tumblr or Twitter, they say, oh, my hand slipped. Oops, my
Whoops,
hand slipped,
my
and
hand
I made
slipped.
this funny image or this really well drawn image, either or. I
Yeah,
don't
that's annoying.
understand why people are so. I don't know. They're just like very passive with that kind of stuff.
Hit him with the classic. My friend typed that, not me. Haha.
I would
Churchy,
say,
did you
how about,
did you ever have a friend fuck with you and like actually do that?
I have not.
Did you ever have? Yeah. Do you ever have any situations where you actually were like, "Oh yeah, that wasn't me," or something like
I've
that?
had a couple, but it was like very obvious, especially with my ex. My ex would like take my phone and like text friends, and it would be very obvious that it wasn't me. And it was never anything like horrible, but it was just kind of like, really, you're gonna send that? It's not even that like funny. Really?
It's just mean.
It wasn't even mean. It was just kind of stupid. It was like, "Hi, I like penis, lol," with like 5 emojis, and it was like, you're not even ruining my reputation because I already say that unironically.
Well, this was also back when you were in high school.
Kind of, somewhat. This was like a yearly thing, like not okay. This is like a weekly thing. Correction.
Liking penis or?
Oh, okay, yeah, like once a year. I just see anal is like pumpkin pie.
What the
There's a full analogy
I just heard
here.
church in the background.
Just
What the fuck?
No, anal is like pumpkin pie though, because every year somebody brings pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving, and you're like, I'm trying to think of the last time I had pumpkin pie. I guess it was around Thanksgiving. I remember kind of liking it the last time I had pumpkin pie, so let's just try some pumpkin pie. And then you eat it, and you're like, oh, so that's why I haven't eaten it since last Thanksgiving. And then you go home, and then the cycle repeats itself.
Yeah, but if you're me, you actually enjoy pumpkin pie, but not in the analogy sense. Who do you guys think is going to be the next DLC for Smash Ultimate?
Okay, well, I've got a couple of predictions and like a couple of people that I really want. So I'm gonna go over who I really want first. I don't know if anyone. I know Spencer knows the game that I will be referring to, but The World Ends With You, great game, highly recommend it. I absolutely love it. But the main character from it, Neku Sakubara, I really want him in Smash just because I feel like their series is very underrepresented. Whatever the fuck that word is.
Underrepresented in
Oh god, I puked
Smash.
a bit in my mouth. Oh god. Anyway. Dying. Anyway. And then another character that I think would be more likely to make it in, considering he's got a game coming out soon, Travis Touchdown. I feel like he would be really fucking cool.
I think that would be cool, but I really don't think that's going to happen.
It's probably not going to happen considering he would be very similar to like the rest of these sword fighters we have.
Well, yeah. But like I think that I would say that the ones that I'm thinking are probably going to get in are probably like I really want Banjo, and I also think Banjo's going to get in. And another one that I don't really care that if they get in, but it would be like I think that's something that could is like Sora.
I would die, like in a good way, if Sora made it in. I would want a Roxas Echo Fighter though.
Yeah.
Because that would be lit.
I'd rather have Riku than Roxas, but Roxas would make more sense.
Now,
Roxas is literally Sora.
Are we open to spoilers?
No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's
because
fine.
There's already been some talk about who's going to be the next one in by
Yeah,
looking
but
at the game files.
I don't think that's super legit. I mean, a lot of it is just like, oh, well, we can think it means this, but we're not entirely sure.
I think it's a pretty convincing argument for the next
I will admit, but then again, we all believed the Grinch leak, and we know how that happened.
One sec. So the day is January 13th, and we have some spoilers. So from here, for a little bit here, I'll put a timestamp up when we stop talking about it. We're going to have some spoilers, so go ahead.
So we had already like looked at some articles of potential spoilers, and we've already seen that one of the characters that have claimed to be in is from the Dragon Quest series. I don't remember their.
It's like the main character.
I don't play any games, but
I remember the code name was Brave or something.
The
like
code
that.
name is Brave, and that's what makes a lot of people think that it's going to be from Dragon Quest. And there's a whole other like podcast series about it.
Did Akira Toriyama do the whole art for Dragon Quest? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's Akira Toriyama.
But there's a whole lot, like there's a whole list of things that could get in, including Steve from Minecraft. But that's like expected to be released at E3, I believe.
If Steve from Minecraft is actually going to be in this game, so was this in the leak or was it not?
This is in the leak.
I think this was like a separate guy.
This is like a separate leak. Like
okay,
the Dragon Quest thing is the Dragon Quest thing is like pretty much very solid.
Which I wouldn't be disappointed if Dragon Quest was in it. I feel like
cool.
It'd be a cool series, and I feel like a lot of people over in North America don't really know what it is. So it'd be a good way to like, hey, this is a series. Because like I've checked out games just because of Smash. Like I never would have checked out Earthbound if Ness wasn't in Smash.
Yeah. I think that this isn't like in the leak or anything like that, but I think that they could have Sephiroth in there. I think Sephiroth being in there would be really interesting.
It would be very, very interesting.
Or at least just like some other Final Fantasy character. But stretching it further than Cloud is hard to do, I would say.
Yo, give me Raiden DLC.
Yeah, Raiden would be pretty sick.
All the marketing material is like, oh, it's Big Boss. Big Boss is gonna be in the game, and then all of a sudden it's just Raiden.
Okay, so yeah, so the leak was basically what it was. Steve and
there was a
Dragon
whole
Quest.
list of
It
like,
was
the rest of the
Steve,
characters
Doom
that
Guy.
could potentially be in it.
Doom Guy is not gonna be in.
But that's
The Dragon
somebody had
Quest-
said that Doom Guy was gonna be in it. It was in that same leaker.
Yes, it says that Doom Guy was on that list. But
Jesus Christ.
the Dragon Quest thing is a whole separate thing, I believe.
Yeah,
The
Dragon
other
Quest was
two-
like
The
Data
other one is Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden.
oh yeah, Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden.
But
Sorry.
the thing is, if they would have to label him on the character select screen as like Habayusa, not Ryu, because we already have a Ryu.
Yeah, they would probably name him Hayabusa.
Yeah, we'd
Because
have to
I
see
think
what
they have him
happens
as
there.
Hayabusa in Dead or Alive.
Yeah.
That's even if they're in the game. You're not.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly,
100%
I
sure
I
they're
feel
in the
like
game.
I feel like Ryu Hayabusa, or I'm just gonna call him Ninja Gaiden from now on.
It's
I feel like-
just call him Hayabusa.
Hayabusa.
Yes.
Hayabusa.
Hayabusa.
Anyways. I feel like he would be a really good fit because he's similar to like Sheik,
Yeah,
but I feel
yeah.
like he actually uses weapons, so he'd be like a weird cross between like Sheik and the Belmonts.
I think he'd be a weird cross between Sheik and Greninja.
That too.
I think that he'd be pretty interesting. I've never heard, I never heard that part of the leak, but that sounds like pretty interesting.
Yo, give me Dante from Devil May Cry so we can slap that sticker on the box.
I agree. I agree.
Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
I agree.
Undertale.
Yeah.
Give us Sans.
I think at this point, like,
I
think
would
at this
really like
point-
to see Banjo Kazooie in there.
yeah, I think
See,
at this
I've
point,
never been on the banjo train, but
But
I
think
kind
about
of
it.
just
Think how
w-
large Banjo is, and think how he's not in the game.
I know it. Well, the thing is, the only issue is like all those rights and stuff.
But that's
then
the
again,
thing is that
Sakurai's-
the people
Sakurai
said,
has pulled larger strings. I mean, fucking Hideo Kojima walked up to Sakurai and was like, "Hey, put Snake in Smash," and Sakurai was like, "I bet," and then he did.
Okay, so I guess we can stop naming stuff from the leak now.
Okay,
and then we can
spoiler:
just talk
Jesus
about-
dies.
We can just talk about other stuff.
I hope Bella Thorne's in Smash.
Dude, Bella Thorne, she's hot.
Bella Thorne?
Bella Thorne's hot. Anna Kendrick though.
Mm-hmm. I think that the people that are probably going to get in
Are
well, the people that everybody
Tom
wants to get
Cruise,
in.
Bella
the people,
Thorne,
Stop.
Shrek, and Xbox One controller. Those are my bets.
I think that the people that everyone wants to get in, but probably it's very no one knows at this point who's gonna get in. Obviously,
Well, I mean, fucking Joker came out of left field.
I know, and that's what's crazy about it is that because Joker came out of left field, I feel like anything's possible. But the people that everybody wants in are Banjo, Gino, and Sora. I guess I haven't heard too much about Sora. Or
I would.
everybody
love if
wanted
Sora was
Isaac,
in
but
the
now
game.
Isaac is deemed to be not
He's
possible.
too anime.
No, because he's an assist trophy is what people were saying.
He's too anime.
Same thing with Shadow and stuff like that.
I think that spirits can come back and be characters. I genuinely think that's possible.
Yeah, I do too.
But the assist trophy thing, I don't think that would happen.
Yeah, I don't think they would have an assist trophy in the game, and then they would patch out the assist trophy so that they can be a fighter or something, or have
You know what
both.
that
Little
means,
Mac.
Mez?
What do you
That
mean?
means
Little
that Chibi Robo has a chance.
Dude, I would cry if Chibi Robo made it into the game.
I would want you to film it.
Like, during the next reveal, I will film myself, and if it actually turns out to be Chibi Robo, I will actually start crying. I fucking love Chibi Robo.
Well, that's the thing about all the Smash Directs so far is that I've been on the verge of tears every single time I've watched him.
I literally my breath stopped when I saw Joker come on screen.
I did not expect that whatsoever. I was somewhat tipsy, and I was talking to other people, just watching it in the background, and no one else was watching the stream when I was watching it.
Were you in our Discord?
I think so. I don't remember. I don't remember
I
if I was
remember
actually
I was in
talking
the
to
chat.
anyone.
I was in the chat and I was like
at least
going
in some
nuts.
chat and I was talking to people, but
Because that was during the Game Awards and
yeah.
everyone was like, "Oh, Nintendo's got a thing." Oh
and
well.
then I feel like no one else was watching it at the time, but obviously people were. And I like was watching that reveal out of the corner of my eye, and I was just like, "Oh, sick! There's new Persona content, that kind
Yeah,
of thing."
I was like, "Oh, Persona for the Switch."
and it was like a really, it's the same kind of animation style
Yeah,
as they have for
like,
the openings
You
and
really
stuff like
wouldn't
that.
have guessed, but then he turns around the fucking envelope and bam!
And I also
There it
couldn't
is.
hear the dialogue that was being said.
Oh yeah.
But the dialogue basically says, "Oh, this time we've been invited." So it's like, and then he turns the envelope, and it's got the Smash logo like usual. It's like, oh my god, and it was just super off guard. Like, I'm so surprised. Like, do we know when the next Nintendo Direct is? Because I assume that
let
they're
me
gonna
Google
show gameplay of Joker before he comes out. Because I feel like they're gonna
I'm
have another
hoping-
Direct, and then they're going to show Joker's gameplay, and then probably reveal something else.
I'm really hoping that there's a Nintendo Direct this January, unless it already happened.
It could happen later this January.
It happened apparently 2 days ago.
It did?
Huh?
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 Searching.
11/1/20. Oh wait, no, never mind. 2018.
Oh, come on.
Come
man.
on, dude.
My bad.
11/1 is also November, by the way.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if they were doing the whole. I didn't know if they were doing
he
the
mixed up
day,
the ones.
I didn't know if they were doing the day month format.
That's true, actually. That's a good point.
Because
Were you
the
guys-
rest of the fucking world does that, and we
Were
don't.
you guys watching the Direct when they first announced the new Smash game live?
No,
Yes.
I was not.
Was someone in the room with? Were you in the room with me, Spencer?
Was that yeah, that was Travis and me.
It was you, me, and Travis, I believe.
When was this again?
And we were all
This
just sitting
was
there.
at the end of last year, or I don't remember.
No. That
and
was
it
when
just
they.
just a regular old Direct.
And then
and
they
we
have
were just sitting
Splatoon.
there
Oh
just walk us
yeah.
through it.
And then they were like, "Oh, we have another special announcement."
And then everyone's like, "It's not gonna be Smash." And then you see Splatoon characters running around, and you're like, "Wait a second." And then it turns around, and then I'm pretty sure that everyone, me, Spencer, and Travis, just all started screaming.
We all agape, gasping for air. And Travis
cannot
fell on the
tell
floor.
you.
He was having a seizure. We
Yeah.
had to
Jesus.
call for medical attention.
Poor
And I
Travis.
just
We
started
should get him
eating
in
my
one of these.
sandwich as I did every week. Oh, cool.
Mez, you
A
act
new
like
one.
we've had 50 episodes of this. We've had one episode.
Hey guys, welcome back to episode 50 of the ixcast. Man, we've been doing this for a while.
And we
50
still have the same
episodes,
title.
dude. Wow. Yeah.
It'll probably end up just staying as the ixcast because I don't give a
Well,
shit.
That's like the whole super mega thing. It was just supposed to be a placeholder, and now it's their brand.
Yeah.
My brand. Smash a like if you remember my brand.
I'll watch it every day.
It's 1-800 contacts, dude.
Huh?
Huh?
You don't know?
You mean
Editor, play
he
the clip.
doesn't know?
Oh, haha, that's a good clip.
What a good clip.
XD, am I right?
I love memes coming around, so they're extremely ironic.
After the fact.
Yeah, like the whole resurgence of Doge memes. Like, I'm gonna look back on this like a month later, and I'm gonna be like, why was I talking about Doge memes? But I like the weird meta narrative they have for him.
Have you seen any of the Doge and Isabel memes going
Those
around?
are so great. I
They're
love them. They're so
stupid.
wholesome. Fuck yourself.
Editor, put a Doge in Isabel.
They're so
I'll send you one. Hold
bad.
on, I've got
I'll
one.
post-
Send one in chat and I'll
Dude,
put
the
it up.
Yeah, I
Jigglypuff
got one.
Discord.
Hold on.
The Jigglypuff Discord is all just. It's
Yeah.
all just Doge and Isabel. It's
Well, like,
so sad.
I like the weird narrative they have going with it. Like, he got divorced and his wife won't let him see the kids. And
Well,
then he finds
they
Isabel.
recently had a kid,
Yeah,
which was a
well,
Tom Nook baby that has Down syndrome.
Oh, no.
well, here's the precursor image. Here's the precursor image to that.
Here's another one.
Oh, no. No, no,
yeah.
no.
No, it's wholesome.
They're really
I love
bad.
it. I love this. It's wholesome.
God damn. At a certain
'Cause it
point,
all-
I really wanted a Shiba Inu just because the Doge
Dude,
meme.
Shibas are adorable. I love them.
Well, yeah.
They
I
can be
think the
bastards, though.
first game that I put a few hundred hours into was Nintendogs.
Nintendogs
Let's be
is
honest here.
an amazing game.
I love Nintendogs, dude. I was so happy to see Nintendogs in Smash as an assist trophy.
Here's
I'm
the
like,
image
this is
that
great.
started it all.
It's such a
No.
like a scrunched up picture of Doge.
So, over break, I played Minecraft with my brothers for like 150 hours.
What?
Over the entirety of break, I played so much Minecraft.
Jesus.
So, we went with the Donald Trump strategy and we built an enormous wall around our city.
Go on.
And, go on. Trump is probably listening to this now. Being like, alright, go on. Tell me how it went. And it kept all the enemies out.
No, that's what Trump is doing. He's
Except-
testing it all out by building a wall in Minecraft.
Yeah. He shut down the government so he could experiment with the wall in Minecraft. Jesus Christ. There's another Doge meme for you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Lab, for explaining our baby's fur is brown because of a mutation that might have came with the Down syndrome. We love our baby how it is.
This needs to stop.
It really does. You missed some good conversation, Mez.
Shucks, I heard something
we
about
talked
Minecraft.
about how Donald Trump shut down the government so that he could test his wall in Minecraft instead.
Dude, zombie creeper survival server.
Yeah, dude.
We gotta
Oh,
keep the
man.
Why am I doing like a Nixon? We gotta keep the creepers out of Nicaragua. That's not even like timely. A, it's not even timely. B, it's not even a good politics reference. And C, I don't even know that that's a good Nixon.
That was
We
awful.
gotta keep the creepers. I don't know. You have a good JFK.
Jackie, there's creepers on the lawn. You just shut the doors. Jacqueline, Nixon's on our lawn again. Get the shotgun. Nixon, I told you to stay off my property. I do it louder, but I'm in my basement right now, and I don't want to like have my parents be concerned as to why I'm doing a JFK voice at 3 p.m.
I can't believe that a skeleton shot JFK.
This is an awful podcast.
Could you imagine hearing like the zombie like oof like yeah that noise like in the recording of JFK getting shot?
you just hear the spider.
Yeah. Okay.
It's so stupid.
Okay. Anyways, let's not talk about that anymore.
Churchy, you can't be putting JFK memes in the chat.
It's not funny.
Oh.
I had too much peanut butter for lunch, and now it feels like my arteries are clogged.
Oof.
They are. You
Anyone-
died. This is heaven.
Anyone else feel that? I used to. Okay, when I was a kid, I used to eat a lot of peanut butter, just like straight out of the jar. And I ate so much one day that I had a horrible, horrible stomach cramp. And I think I prevented my mom from seeing her parents up in Wisconsin that day.
What is wrong with you?
It's called I was like 6 and I had like I had half a jar of peanut butter.
You
in one
monster.
day. You remember that old Checkmate Atheists thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything else to add to that?
Yeah, do you have anything to say?
Obamacare doesn't work. Let's think of another topic. Spencer, the other day you had shown me your penis as well as talked about if you've ever had a video game console like die on you.
One of those things is true.
Okay, well, I'm lying about the video game console thing, but you do have a nice penis. Checkmate.
Silence.
Silence, liberal.
So okay, yeah, let's try and talk about that. So something that I thought of about the other day was the fact that none of my consoles really have died. I've owned a lot of different consoles throughout
Okay, do
my
we
life.
consider handhelds?
Yeah, we
in
consider
this?
handhelds and shit.
Okay, yeah, then definitely.
So like the only scare
Definitely.
that I've had is the Xbox 360 like red ringing. But it didn't like I think it only did a couple rings. It didn't do the 3 different rings. It wasn't, the normal, I guess, red ring.
Did it do an engagement ring?
Yeah. And basically like
Congratulations.
I just basically turned it off and then turned it back on and it was fine. And so there was no real problem there. But yeah, I've like owned so many things and it's never really died. I don't know. Do you guys ever have any stories about that kind of stuff?
I had at least 3 DS Lites die on me.
But why?
Okay, well, first of all, my first one I played the absolute shit out of. This was like when they first really came out with the DS Lite. I got one, an Animal Crossing, and I loved it, and I played that a lot. But basically, I wasn't too gentle with mine, and one of the hinges like started breaking and coming off. Like you could play it, it was just the hinge was broken.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so like
that was something I saw a lot with DSs.
yeah, that for some reason that hinge part was incredibly weak. And so eventually I think some sand got into one of the circuits cuz I brought it with me on vacation to Florida, and it just kind of fucked with my entire system. And eventually I was like, my DS doesn't work anymore. And so my parents were like, okay, well, for Christmas you can ask for a new one. And I was like, okay. And so I did. And then I got a blue and black one, which I really enjoyed. And that one ended up breaking in the same spot after like
Yeah.
I want to say like 4 months. Like it was like it did not last as long as my other one. And so I ended up sending it into like Nintendo to get it fixed,
Yeah.
And then I got it back and I was like, "Yay, my DS works now." But then for some reason it you know how like the DS would like stop after a certain point of like folding out, like it would lock into place?
Yeah.
For some reason that mechanism broke and then it just became all floppy. And then for like my birthday I ended up getting a Nintendo DSi, and that was the first device I ever looked up porn on.
Me too.
Dude, that's like a real like if you were born after like 1995, between like 1995 and like 2001, there's a good chance your first porn experience was on a Nintendo DSi.
Oh man.
See, now I have to keep in that entire story just to have the last part of that.
Dude, like the Nintendo DSi web browser, it was so shitty.
It was really bad, but it was
Well,
my
what was like the
little.
first? What was like the first thing that you guys looked up? Like ever?
I think I'm gonna sound like a complete weeaboo here, but I think it was anime boob.
Just one.
I was like, I wonder.
I honestly don't remember what the first thing I looked up was. I think I just looked up general stuff.
For me, I remember like joking around with my friends in middle school and saying like, "Oh yeah, if you turn safe search off on Google Images, you can search anything and you'll eventually find porn." So like we were testing that kind of stuff out, and I started doing that like on my phone, my like flip phone at home.
Dude, I
one
had
night.
a Go phone.
A Go phone.
Dude, that shit was tiny. It could fit in the palm of my hand.
Well, yeah.
Back to your story.
And yeah, I remember just searching like really vague things and like trying to find porn because of that.
Didn't you search like dishes?
I searched plates
Oh, that's right.
and
I was
found
close.
found porn because of that.
Nice.
But I think like the first thing I ever like tried to look up was I just searched like naked girl or something like that.
Hot naked girl
There's
in
always
my
a little
area.
bit of curiosity.
I remember I almost printed out a picture of a girl.
I never
Like
did
I
that.
had looked up like porn on the home computer and I was gonna print out a picture.
Were you ever caught?
I've never been caught. No.
Oh, I've been caught.
I have been caught twice.
I forgot to delete the history off the iPad.
Nice.
was a very awkward talk.
Which you
Very
look
much
up.
so.
I do not want to disclose it at this time. Get me drunk enough, and I might.
And you had to talk about that with your
Like,
parents?
miss her beautiful
Yeah.
feet.
Luckily, I think they've just forgotten because my brother has just done some stupid shit as well.
Oh yeah, he's gone in the same situation.
No, different, but he learned to never use the iPad
Yeah,
because
that was
So
another
I'm-
thing. Is that like, what were you gonna say, Church?
I was gonna bring up a new topic.
Go for it. Yeah.
I was gonna bring up the topic of times you've gotten in trouble, like in like the middle school era.
Oh sure.
Just
Yeah.
like what happened. So I wanted to start off with like one time where I was almost in like some serious trouble. So when I was a kid, I was like really heavily invested into airsoft. I
Oh,
loved
mood.
airsoft. I
Yeah.
loved milsim, all that kind of stuff. So I still have tons of like airsoft guns to this day, and I still really enjoy it. And I think it's great. And so I went into my backyard. You know, I live in a town that's not great when it comes to violence and like overall paranoia of
Mm.
safety. So I'm in my backyard and it's pretty large and there's a 5-foot fence surrounding the whole backyard, and in the very back there's a 10-foot fence. So I would go in my backyard to like practice my aim or just to sit down, relax, and shoot some cans or something. So I would go in there maybe every like once a day for like 10 minutes and just have some fun in the backyard. And I'd aim at that giant fence in the back. Behind the fence was a road, and cars would drive by it. It's a 4-way intersection, but I never shot over the fence, and I never really shot through the fence. I just aimed
Did
at
you
stuff
shoot
in front of the
under
fence,
the
and it was
fence?
fine. But I had neighbors that lived to the right of the fence, and they came over one day and claimed, "Hey, your son is shooting my screen windows in my porch." And my dad was like, "Get over here!" And me and my stepbrother, we both do airsoft in the backyard, and we're like, "Yeah, we're not shooting at their house or whatever." And my dad's like, "Okay, well, I believe you." 2 weeks pass. Get a knock on the door. The police show up,
Oh,
and the
no.
police are like,
that's
"Hey,
not good.
there's a complaint from the lady next door saying that you're shooting at their windows. We're gonna give you a warning, but don't do it again, okay?" I'm like, "Okay." And then when they left, I talked to my dad like privately. I'm like, "Yeah, I don't do that. I don't know if my stepbrother does it or not. We don't really go out there together that much, but we don't do this kind of stuff, you know." And then another 2 weeks later, we get another knock on the door. It's the police again, and they say, "We need to go in the backyard and we need to investigate because we're getting another complaint." So what happens is we go in the backyard. I'm asked to get all of my equipment out, so I bring out like 7 guns because my stepbrother has some too, and there is some stuff for like probable concern in there. Like we had a grenade launcher at a point. If you don't know how those work with airsoft, it's like a shotgun basically. It shoots a ton of stuff.
Mm.
Oh shit.
But they went in the backyard, they shot like everything, and then they looked at us and said, "Unless you're deliberately shooting over that 10-foot fence, there's no way that you're hitting that lady's house."
And you're just like, yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell you.
And me and yeah, and we're like, "Exactly. I don't know what's going on." Me and my dad decided to get permission from the neighbor to go inside the screen door and investigate, right? We went in to investigate, and all of the holes in the screen door were poked from the inside,
Oh no.
and there were no plastic BBs inside of the porch. And
Amazing.
my dad was basically like, "Next time think before you call out my son." and please don't call the police on us again. And then we didn't talk to them. But like the whole period, my dad was just on edge with me because he's always like, "Oh, I know you're probably not doing it, but there's a chance." And that was like one time in my life where I was just like, "Wow, I can't believe that this might like end up on a police record somewhere because
Jesus.
some idiot doesn't know how screen doors work." Stuff like that. So that was like the only time like in middle school or even in high school that I like had any sort of major trouble because my dad was pissed.
I got I have something that's not that serious, but I went to a private school for from kindergarten to high school, and high school was a private school as well. But in middle school, we started we got laptops. Everybody got laptops, and one of the things that was included in like the Microsoft Office at the time was, oh, I wish I could remember what it's called. I'll look it up after this. But it's basically a Microsoft program, like Word or PowerPoint or something like that. But you could play games with other people as long as they were on like the same network. You could play like chess or checkers and like stuff like that. But I think we just normally played chess. And you could also message people, like instant message people. So obviously that was like something that was pretty cool that we had for a while, and like there was never really problems with it, but there was a certain time where they cracked down on it because people were playing games during class, obviously. But what ended up happening is I remember you can like make any username you wanted. So I made
big penis fucker 69 XXX.
So I made like a separate username, or maybe just change my name or something on that program to 10101010 or something like that.
Oh no.
Just binary.
You've cracked the code.
And I messaged this guy in my class, and verbatim I said, "You're gay and you know it." and I didn't send anything else. He never sent me something back or anything like that. So I think this was over. This was like at the end of like some day or something like that. So I didn't hear about it until the next day. But I got called down to the office, and I basically like, "Hey, we easily figured out this was you." and I was like, "Yeah." But
it just reminds me of like fucking Picto Chat.
But I felt like really bad, obviously. Not because I got caught, but because I just felt bad and wasn't thinking that how much that could affect someone. So
you caused that boy years of psychological torment and thousands of dollars in therapist fees.
He wasn't even like there in the office, but his mom was, because his mom was like one of the teachers.
Dude, you called him out so hard that he just checked out of school. He was like, "Damn,
so
I am gay, and I do know it."
So his mom his mom basically asked for an apology, and I apologized to her and everything, and then it was basically just fine after that. But because of that, or around that same time, that program like was no longer able to get installed on computers. That was a fun time. I got another one too, but it's not technically my story.
I do too. If Mez doesn't have one,
I have just more general. I would always get grounded because of grades. And it wasn't even like I was having bad grades. It was like, "Oh, you got like 2 Bs. Sorry." Jesus. And it was just like, "Oh, my parents expected a lot out of me, and now I'm mostly a disappointment."
Amazing. Good story.
And I'm gay.
All right, moving on.
Only half gay, though.
So, Church, you go ahead, because I think my story is pretty good, so we might be able to end on it.
Okay, so yeah. So, when I was a kid, I was like obsessed with comics. I don't know why.
You're not. Are you not now?
Comics. No.
Okay.
I was just really liked.
I was gonna say. I just
really liked. I didn't really care for reading them as much as I liked making them.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What...
I made a few comics when I was a kid.
Yeah, and I don't know what it was, but like I made a ton of comics. But the thing is that they were always very violent.
Yeah, same.
Oh.
And I was like, it was always just
Mine
fun,
weren't.
you know. It was always fun to make like little violent comics that had like kind of dark sadistic humor, like a lot of us are used to now.
Oh yeah.
But apparently one of my I left one of my comics in like a work folder for my class or something,
Oh
and my
no.
teacher saw it, and I was called down to the office with both of my parents, and they're like, "Did you write this comic?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, "Do you think it's funny?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty funny." They're like, "Do you want to shoot your teachers?" I'm like, no." uh they're like, "Well, you've got some very violent comics here." And it was just like they went through, and I kind of stopped after that, or if I did do some, I didn't do it as much, but it was just like a way to pass time and to just have fun in class, where and in classes where I was already doing well, and I just made like these little fun comics, and I always thought they were fun. But I
But
can see
obviously,
why I
other
can see
people.
why there's a why people might think that that's not safe.
Yeah.
That's what the fuck. I can see why people might think that that's not safe, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was like on the verge of tears. I'm like, I'm just trying to have fun, man. Like, leave me alone.
Um. So, like I was trying to say before, I this story isn't exactly mine, but it's something that I experienced. I am not making this the thumbnail for the episode.
Good. It was a test and you passed.
So, yeah, this story is not mine, but it happened in, I believe, 8th grade. Um, but I was very heavily involved in the sense that I knew everybody that was involved in it. I knew the person that did it. I knew, like, I was in all the situations that came of it.
You were basically a degree of separation from this.
Yes, I was involved, but not the perpetrator, I guess.
Okay.
So
By the way, how can you tell if you're having a heart attack? Because I might be.
you can't feel a side of your body.
Okay, well then that's not happening. No, I thought that's if you're having a stroke.
I think that's also a heart attack, though.
Yeah, it's also heart attack.
Um,
Just Google it, Mez.
yeah,
God.
just Google it. Anyways.
WebMD just says I have bad connection problems. I stole that from
Yeah,
Parks and Rec. I
that's
can't even. I love that line though. Anyway, continue your story.
So, you know how every once in a while you'll be in like or maybe when you were in middle school or high school, you would go through after gym class, everybody would get changed, and like someone would spray like Axe spray,
Oh God.
and it's like this very pungent, overpowering scent.
It's being gassed basically.
Yeah, it's awful, and like some people are like choking and stuff, and they're like, oh God.
It's riot suppression gas, effectively.
Right. So, in my middle school, we had a very, very small locker room. It was just like a glorified box. No, it was just like a very small locker room. It didn't have like showers or anything like that. It had like, I don't even think it had like a actual toilet or anything like that. It was just like maybe 10 lockers, a bench, and like 20 feet of space. Not even 20 feet, 20 square feet or something. I don't know how dimensions work. But anyways, there is a garbage can in the corner, and every single gym session we would have to go in there, get changed, come back out. Once it's done, go in, change, and come back out. Go to class, pretty normal stuff. But something that my friend did was he bought a Axe can, and he cut down a eraser so that it would hold down the top of it, and then he duct taped the eraser so that it's constantly holding it down, right? So he did that, he taped it up, it started like spraying everywhere, he threw it into the trash can.
This man made a Molotov cocktail.
And then
out of
covered
an
the
Axe
trash can with like a table, or like a like a fold-up
God.
table. And then
This is premeditated. This man knew what he
Yes.
was doing. There's no way this was his first time doing this.
yeah, and then and then everybody left. Everybody left to go to class, and then maybe like halfway through the next class period, I don't even know if it was the same day or maybe the next day, but we all it's like, okay, can all the boys from the 8th grade class come down to the office, and so we all line up like in the principal's office, on the wall. The principal basically just says like, hey, If no one tells us who did this, then everybody can't, like all the boys can't go to the 8th grade field trip to Chicago, all that stuff, right? And so one of the guys who did it, he was like, "Oh yeah, I did it. I don't want to say that I didn't do it so that everyone else is fucked over," that kind of thing. He called himself out, and he just said, "Yeah, I did it." And then I think he just had to like stay in. He was like suspended for a couple days or something like that.
Forced him to breathe all of the Axe spray.
But basically, yeah.
Just held him over the garbage can and they were like, "Breathe it in.
But
You're not leaving until every molecule is out of there."
But the interesting part of this story is that the principal told us like what happened, and what happened was the next couple people like went in, and someone had to throw something away, as you do. So they moved that. Moved that table.
Your friend was responsible for a chemical attack.
Exactly.
He violated Geneva Conventions.
No, I'm not joking. He like he moved the like some guy moved the table, and like this huge gas cloud comes out. Like people started choking and stuff, and like it started coming out of the locker room, and there's like some girls and like a couple guys that like had asthma, and like they were like choking very badly, and like one person like had an asthma attack, and so like my friend could have like legitimately killed someone. And so that's why it was like so serious.
Responsible for a goddamn fucking chemical attack.
Yeah, it was but it was
fun.
But
your friend is a war criminal.
But it was funny.
You are friends with a war criminal.
The end,
and the only thing you can say is it was funny. When you're being tried in an international court, you just... But it was funny.
I don't understand how you guys don't see the humor in this.
Come on, guys. Didn't we all have a laugh?
Come on, man. Get up off the floor. There's no need to choke over this. Jesus. We could talk about Fortnite.
I'd rather not.
Did you ever like take one of your GameCube controllers and like hold it by like the plug end and whip it around your head, threatening your brother? Because
huh?
Okay, so I need to calm down because I'm laughing at the thought of it. Okay, hold on. Okay, so you take one of your GameCube controllers and you take it by the plug part, the part that you put into the GameCube, and you start whipping it around your head, and you slowly approach your brother, and you're like, "I'm gonna keep doing this, and if you get hit by it, it's your fault." Just the image of that is really funny.
Yeah, you mean you've never done that?
I used to do that with yo-yos.
You haven't tried?
Yo-yos are just portable maces.
You do realize that yo-yos are weapons, right?
Dude, yo-yos are great weapons. I know how to forward pass. I know how to around the world. I don't know
how do you approach a man who's walking the dog?
How to approach a man who's got a frame 6 forward pass when he's holding a walking dog.
It's just Ness.
It is Ness.
All right, I think we have like a good enough amount of things that we talked about. I need
to be plastered for the next podcast.
Yeah,
I'd rather be plastic for the next podcast.
Next one will be drunk as fuck. How about that?
Okay.
Let's do it tonight. Fuck it.
No, I have to be up at like 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow.
Me too, buddy.
So do I.
Bro, we can't get drunk as shit tonight.
Why not?
'Cause you're right.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us for the first episode of the ixcast. Thank you, Church and Mez, for joining us.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to be here.
It was. I think we got some good stuff in there.
I hope Ellen DeGeneres sees me and she's like, "Who is this disgusting little man?"
I hope that too. Anyways,
Ellen, if you're out there, my number is 742-893-6784.
And Ellen, if you'd like to follow us on YouTube or Twitter, you can do that at Convixent on YouTube or at ixwonker, IXWONKR. That's where you can find more updates for the podcast, probably every Sunday. But the actual podcast will probably come out on Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure right now.
If you want to find my Twitter handle, go out into your local woods and scream into the night, and the amount of taps you hear will correspond to a certain number in my username. Do this for a week straight, and you will know.
And Church, where can we find you?
I'm best found on Twitter. I believe my handle is ssb_churchyboy.
There we go. All right, guys. Thank you for doing this with me. It was fun.
I would say the same, but...
You know.